tips and welcome to Wizzdom Talkies. I'm sure all of you all would have watched my promo and some of them would have missed it. But we start with the Wizzdom Talkies and this is the first episode. And what's Wizzdom Talkies all about? Yes, success stories. That's what Wizzdom Talkies is all about. But hey, you might be wondering, there's so many success stories that you've already heard. But let me tell you, this is really different because, well, you have heard success stories of entrepreneurs, politicians, celebrities, or probably sportsmen who have really made it big in life. But I have a question for you. Is it always necessary that you need to be really big to make it big in life? Well, what I mean is, look around you. There might be someone in your very own family, or your friends, or your colleague who is already successful. A common man can also be successful. And by the way, success is a state of mind. So today with me, I have someone who has really made it big in life. What do I mean? Well, the person who's going to be walking in the next few minutes, she has almost 17 years of experience in the field of HR. And most importantly, she has won the Times Icon 2019 Hospitality Award for F&B Recruitment Company, for the best F&B recruitment company. It wasn't the same a few years ago. She had to start from scratch, but something made her to push herself and make the very best of life. Nominated as the top 10 women entrepreneurs for an online business magazine called Bangalore Insider. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lady who runs also a successful company in Bangalore called Talkies, Vilina Sequeira.
Hi Joshua, nice to see you. How are you?
So I've known Vilina for the past 20 years, but then meeting her in a professional platform like this is really exciting, and that too for the very first episode of Wizzdom Talkies. So Vilina.
Thank you Joshua for the lovely invite. My pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So Vilina, let's start off with the first question.
Okay, fine.
It's not going to be like a rapid fire round, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Not studied for
so get into the comfort zone, and this is a show where the entire concept is to tell our folks that anyone and everyone can be successful.
Okay.
Right? And also, why is it that we always heard being or becoming successful, it's always hard work? Apart from hard work, there's something more into it, and that's what Vilina is going to be talking about. So the first question to you, Vilina, talking about your career, you became an entrepreneur much later. What were you doing before that?
So well, Josh, I've been doing a couple of things. I studied. That's what I did. I had graduated from Uncommerce, did my PGD in Bhante Vidya Bhavan, did my MBA in Christ, and yes, and I'm still looking at pursuing a further degree, hopefully this year or the next year. So I started my career with ICICI OneSource. So what happened was, when I was with Mount Carmel's, we had a campus drive and it was an era of BPO. So I got into the BPO and started my career there as a call center agent. And at that time, I was simultaneously studying and doing my diploma in industrial relations and personnel management from the Bhante Vidya Bhavan in Bangalore. And I was perseverant in completing it. There were challenges. There were night shifts, there were day shifts, there were long hours, there were unbearable office timings, but no matter what, I made it a point that I attended my classes and I was focused on completing my industrial relations and personnel management course. Because I knew at one point of time in my life I wanted to move into human resources. So when I finished that course, I got a placement with a recruitment company. And at that point of time, we're talking about 17 years ago, 18 years ago, when I did not know that people ran recruitment companies as a business. Today I run my own recruitment company as a business.
It is quite a challenge. So Tokens, yes, that's a company which I can really reckon, and I do know a little bit about it, but not our folks. So tell me, what is Tokens all into and what it is all about?
So the minute I say the word tokens, a lot of people look at me and wonder, what is this about? So tokens is a Latin word meaning inspiration, and I always wanted to inspire people. And that is one of the main reasons I left my job, left the corporate world to start my own. I realized I reached a platform in my life where I needed to contribute back. I learned the skills, I learned the tricks of the trade, and I needed to contribute back to the industry and make that difference. I needed to add value to the industry that I come to. So Tokens Training and HR Consulting is a 3-year-old organization. We have an office in Koramangala and Bangalore, and I specialize predominantly in the hospitality recruitment space. But nevertheless, since I have come with over a dozen years of experience, I understand the formula of recruitment, so I do recruitment across all sectors. I specialize in the mid and the senior level hiring, and we also take a bit of IT hiring, but then it depends, but my comfort zone is the non-IT space, senior end. So when I'm talking about senior level, I'm talking about your AVP levels above. When I'm talking about your mid-level, I'm talking about your resident managers, your executive chefs, your general manager kind of positions. So that's what I do. And now,
So the big wigs, that's what you're talking about, recruiting the big wigs.
rather I would say I recruit people who I know can contribute to an organization. It's much more.
So that's why, and I would say it's not just hard work, because there's something more that you put in, isn't it? And this is what I would want you to share with the rest of the folks out there. Why is it's not only hard work, but there's something more that you need to do to be successful?
I agree with you, Josh. Hard work, yes, does play an important part, but there are a lot of other things too. I would say one is your circle of influence. Plays a very important role when you want to make life-changing decisions. I, for one, have been lucky enough to have friends who have made a huge impact in my life. And I'm talking about some of the top sports people of the country, some of the top entertainers of the country who are very, very close friends of mine. And achievers of the medical field, really inspired me at all times and have, always been there to help me make life-changing decisions. So your circle of influence is very important. Your perseverance and your focus to what is it that you want to achieve. So to sum it up, of course, I would say my circle of influence, hard work, as you mentioned, perseverance, being focused on what you want to do, and of course, having fun. You need to have fun. You need to enjoy what you do. If you don't enjoy your passion and you don't want to do it, you should not do it. But if you have decided that this is what you want to do, you have to be at it.
So can you share some of your hitting the rock bottom moments, please?
Yeah, I did go through bad times. I remember the first year of Tokens Consulting was a beginner's luck. We had a good client, everything was good, the revenues were good, everything was fine. I don't know what happened. The second year, I went through this battle of, did I make the right decision of being an entrepreneur? Should I go back and look for a job? And that's when, a very, very close friend of mine told me that for an entrepreneur to be successful, you need to run your organization for 1,000 days. 1,000 days is equivalent to 3 years plus, or just around 3 years. And if you can survive the 1,000 days, then you know whether you can make it or break it.
Okay.
So I decided to stick to the 1,000 days philosophy. I decided to stick to the 1,000 days philosophy. And today I'm proud to say that the organization has crossed over 1,000 days, and being an entrepreneur has been the best decision of my life. Hitting rock bottom, yes, of course I have hit rock bottom, not just as an entrepreneur but even as an employee. But nevertheless, at this point of time, there have been two books that I've read in my life. One book is Tough Times Never Last, but Tough People Do. This is a very famous book by Dr. Robert Schuller, where he talks about no matter how tough your life is, there's always a positive side to it. Whether it is unemployment, whether it is, economy, whether it is the pandemic we are in today, there's always a positive side to every negative. And unless you decide to look at that and look at life that way, things don't really fall into place. So this is one book which I would actually recommend for young entrepreneurs to read. The second book that has inspired me is called Corporate Ritual. Corporate Ritual has been written by Raj Bhaumik, the founder of the Soul Bath Peace Foundation. In his book, Corporate Ritual, it talks about having a balance in your fast-paced corporate world. So you have your rat race that you have today. That's one side of your life. And on the second side of your life is a spiritual side. When I'm talking about spiritual, I'm not talking about you sit and pray for 2 hours. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about spirituality as finding peace within yourself. So whether you're a housewife, whether you're a student, whether you are an employee or an entrepreneur, we all have a fast-paced life, routines and day-to-day activities. And finally, do you even get that 15 minutes of your time? The 15 minutes can be anywhere. It can be a meditation. It can be 15 minutes of going for a walk where it's just you and your thoughts. It's 15 minutes of probably investing in a hobby where it's just you and your hobby. This 15 minutes can rejuvenate your senses, rejuvenate your life.
So let me rephrase it. Now, through these struggles and challenges that you have been talking about, what is that one thing which keeps pushing you to move on in life? Because for all of us, there's something which pushes us. We have a purpose, right? So what is that?
Yeah, so let's just forget about the ABC book rules about how I spoke about focus and determination. All those things come part of the deal. The point is there's another side to life than just work. I have a lovely family life. So it's the late nights, it's the early morning fitness routine. You get up at 6:30 in the morning, no matter what it is, you hit the gym, you work out, you have that time for yourself. You come back, there's a lot of discipline, you have a healthy breakfast, and then you get into the office, you work for the day, figure out what you want to do. And it's not about working 12 hours, 15 hours a day. I probably work 5 hours, 6 hours a day. But I'm always available on my phone. When I say I'm not working, it doesn't mean I'm not working, I'm switched off. But I'm always available, I'm always on the go. But you need to balance it out. You need to really balance it out. I still have time to catch every movie that comes into town. I have the time to go for...
So it's never hectic then, isn't it? We always say it's a hectic life, but then the way you put it across, there's lots that you're doing, but you never made me feel it's hectic. That's what I'm looking forward for.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So, when you do all this, so you look at the whole thing. So it's like a prism. So you have the first level, which is about your organization.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the second one, which is about your family, your friends, your social life. And then you have the peak, which is your time, which is your faith. And I'm not talking about religion again, it's just faith, whoever you call it. Then you have your hobbies. So I still sing for a choir, I still go for practices, I don't miss a practice. I still have a hobby that I invest in every week. I still have my charities that I support, which is something I do not want to name here because it's very personal to me. I do not want to talk about it. But it gives you time, just 24 hours or the 7 days a week. You need to find time for everything. You need to find time for work, you need to find time for family, friends, yourself, your hobbies, your social life. It's everything put together.
And when you do all of this, you still have time for yourself.
Yes, exactly. So this is where corporate ritual talks about the balance of life.
Yes,
This is exactly what corporate ritual had taught me when it spoke about having a
No,
balance.
because this is
in life.
where many of them are lost, because
This is where you find
there's
the
so much
balance.
that they have to do every single day. They wake up, it just becomes like a ritual, and they feel that there's so much to do, but I have so less time. But here, I have someone right in front of me who's telling that she is doing quite a lot, but yet it's done so gracefully, and there's a lot of time.
And it's important to have this being positive at all time, and you find positivity. So there are bad days in the office, but what happens is that same evening I would probably go to my friend's house and play with her dog because it's just so relaxing. So you find that work-life balance everywhere. You find that positive energy in a negative situation. So I may have had a bad day at the office, but when I go there to play with her dog, the negative turns into positive, and that's the whole thing. So
Yes.
that's really, so this is where I apply the principles of the two books I mentioned about, and it's something I apply in my day-to-day life. It's not something that I struggle to fit in. It's become a part
Struggle
of
to fit in.
it's become part of the way I
That's where
do.
most of them are just struggling to fit in, and it's always a struggle. It's
You know,
always a
so
struggle.
have fun in
Yeah.
life. Yes, work. I'm not telling you not
By
to
the way,
work. I work as much.
You are actually once again leading me to the last question, Vilina, and I'm so sorry it has to be the last question because this is so very interesting that we can just go on. Your parting words to all the folks out here, especially right now to all those aspiring, let's call it as millennials, okay, who really would want to become entrepreneurs or something that they really want to do big or achieve something great in life, but they haven't got the right direction and or guidance.
Okay, so here I will say something which could be a little absurd, but it worked for me, and it still does. Okay, I have not looked for investors. I have not looked at people partnering with me in terms of investments into the company. What I earn goes back into this company. Try and be as self-funded as you can from the day you start. Keep cost minimum. You do not need a plush office with 200 employees from day one. Take it step by step. There is no shortcut. And you need to really decide, and the thing is, when I started Tokens, I put in my savings into this organization. And because I put in my savings, I realized I needed to earn this back. And the determination and the focus and the perseverance of earning it back is what keeps me going. It's because when it's your own and you literally put your heart, soul, and your hard-earned savings into it, there's so much more that you need to do to see that it is fine. You can't really, let this go down the drain. So that is one part. The second part is enjoy it. Don't look at it like a job. Don't look at it like it's your work.
So Vilina, that was quite encouraging. A lot that we heard, and I'm sure there's a lot that we learned. I mean, I learned for sure, and definitely our folks are going to be very much rewarded with this information, or rather insights, and also the enlightenment, especially to the millennial generation who are quite clueless. So Vilina, thanks a lot. Wizzdom Talkies.
Thank you,
It's
Joshua.
really
It's
proud
an
for
honor
having
to
you
be
here.
your first speaker for Wizzdom
Thank you
Talkies.
so much. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
And definitely you will be remembered for a long time. Thank you so much for coming over.
Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you. So folks, the first episode of Wizzdom Talkies was quite interesting. I should say heavy, a lot of information, and I should say that this has really encouraged and motivated me that we are going to go forward with a lot more of such conversations. Interesting, insightful, and of course, a lot of wisdom. That's what it is all about. To conclude, we are all in a race. a race against time, and some of us are just running in this race against time, and we have no clue where we are heading to. Some of them try and achieve in this race, and some don't. So the big question is, what is that you're running after, and what is that you're trying to achieve? And in case if you don't achieve, have you lost it, or are you no more qualified to be called successful in life? Let's look forward for the next Wizzdom Talkies. Thank you. Bye-bye.